All right, so I've got my favorite of the songs I've written in the last 6 months. This is a song called All In. Again, the beat is from YouTube, but the lyrics are original. Can we order just a couple of things? We'll get the soda and the water and the onion rings. And you know we're taking it to go to hit the road to turn the air conditioning up till it's nice and cold. Guess that I'm old, at least older than I've been in the past. Can't remember a lot, but heard it was a blast. Heard I did a lot and had a lot of people lifting me up. Good Lord keeps filling my cup. Then you came along and we're in a different chapter, laughing all the way like it doesn't even matter at all. Cause it doesn't really matter at all. Glad to be here cause you got me standing tall, standing up to all the little things and all the little idiocies that'll let become important to me. No, they don't matter at all, even if I fall. I'm just really glad that you called. Just really glad that you called. Cause I really, really wanna hang out with you. Whatever you call it, you know I'm all in. You know I'm all in. Yeah, I'm sticking with you. I'll be the Velcro, flex tape, Elmer's glue. I'll be the ride or die, the better bike. Cause why would I get up and fly? No, why would I want to say goodbye? No, why would I want anything more than an hour or four dancing on your living room floor to the songs we grew up with, ones that got us moving our feet to a better and a happier beat. Happy to meet such a kind soul. Girl, you're on the road, girl, you're my goal. Line up cause I'm taking a poll, taking a look at all the people in my space, trying to trace down all the ones making it a better place, standing up to all the little things and all the idiocies that'll let become important to me, because none of them matter at all, even if I fall. I'm just really glad that you called. Just really glad that you called. Cause I really, really wanna hang out with you. Whatever you call it, you know I'm all in. Woo! Yeah. I'm just really glad that you called. Cause I really, really wanna hang out with you. Whatever you call it, you know I'm all in. That's it. Thank you.
Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and we got one hell of a guest today, and that is...
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hi. Oh my god. Hi. I'm Savy Strums. Yeah.
Oh.
What's up?
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to be able to sit and meet you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you, Savy.
Yeah, you too.
So,
hell yeah.
What is it you're most known for? How'd you get started? And what got you into Vrchat?
Oh gosh. Well, okay, so I do music stuff. There's a couple of different like specific things. I write my own songs, my own lyrics, and I play a few different instruments. You can find me at a lot of different open mics, and at used to run like the biggest performance venue at the Sunset Bar, which was a group called the Savy Bar, which has since evolved into an open mic night here that I run with my best friend called Next Up. Yeah, I got started on Vrchat with COVID. It's just COVID hit, and I needed somewhere to go. So just brought that into here.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Since you said you do music and stuff like that, were you doing that prior to VRChat, or did you start doing music and the open mics and stuff prior to VRChat?
Yeah, I've been doing music for a while. Since I was like 14, I think. And started playing the guitar, and very quickly after that started playing the banjo as well, which is the whole thing with my grandpa. And yeah, I've been doing music for most of my life now. Um, didn't start off doing music on here. I kind of used VRChat to socialize, but really, really got into it a couple years ago. Just hmm.
Okay. So, what was your first instance of seeing music and stuff being played in VRChat? Where did you go, and what made you want to pick it up here?
Yeah, so I didn't really get to see like too much of like anything going on in VR chat. I always knew that there was like the open mic world that's been on VR chat for a while, and that people would like pop in instances there and stuff. But then what really was it was when I got involved at the Sunset Bar, because I met Lingy and Rennie who on the Sunset Bar. I'm pretty sure you guys have interviewed them before.
Mhm.
I met them back in like two Octobers ago, which is like right at the beginning, just popping into different worlds, and they had that stage, and I was like, we could put some like entertainers on there when y'all are open here. Like I never seen a world with like a like stage like that or been a part of that kind of culture. So I was um it kind of just all really started by because I have experience IRL being a Frank Sinatra impersonator.
Oh wow.
So kind of started doing some like jazz Sinatra stuff at different Sunset Bar instances, like way back at the beginning. And that was kind of the start.
Oh wow. So you mentioned earlier before we go into the VRChat stuff that you did music in real life prior. Now, were you writing your songs before you put on the headset?
Yeah, different type stuff. So I've what's it called? I've written a lot of folk style music,
Hmm.
folk and acoustic type vibes to stuff, as well as like bluegrassy type vibes. Is kind of like where I like started with a lot of different things. And most of it has been a lot that I didn't really like take too seriously.
Hmm.
Um, well, I say that to a certain degree. I would perform them a lot at like different open mics and shows, with like my guitar and my banjo. But all of my lyrics and everything were being written in like notebooks that I just carried around, and just wrote down the lyrics and the chords for whatever I was doing. Um, and it's like such an inconvenient way to keep track of stuff, because you gotta keep track of the freaking notebook, which is just a lot to do. So like 2 or 3 years ago, somewhere between those, I started like using Google Docs and Notepad and things like that, and like writing my stuff in somewhere that I could have like really easy access, and then record demos of those songs or like reference recordings, and like actually getting a hold of that stuff. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh wow. Now, how many songs have you written, may I ask, so far across everything?
Oh gosh. Um. So that's a difficult question to answer, because if you talk about like pre VR and anything, all that stuff's in notebooks, and I don't know how many songs are in there. It's like 7 or 8 notebooks full. But I recently started this project of trying to get like some actual demo recordings of my music, which a lot of those, or a portion of those recordings are on Mountain Man's radio station thing.
Hmm.
Um, but I've gotten through about 22 of them so far, and I'm going off of my Google Drive folder, and there's at least like 60
Oh wow.
that need to be worked through.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
So it's a lengthy project to
I
try
can
to
imagine.
make my way through it.
So I do have one
Yeah.
question. What kinds of things do you write about with folk and blues being what you do? What kinds of things do you write about, and where do you pull inspiration from?
It's kind of tricky to answer because my writing just keeps like changing all the time depending on what I'm being influenced by or like stuff like that. So when like before COVID, I would say I was a bit like inexperienced with my structure to like the stuff I'd be doing. And I would kind of write all over the place about any random thing that I could write about. It was just like really like works really well to just like pick a topic. Okay, right now I'm writing a song about cucumbers, and now I have to sit here and write a song about cucumbers. Um, but then I guess like when I kind of found my voice in my writing a few years back, um, it's been a lot of focus on self reflection and personal growth type conversations, talking about like my struggles with depression and anxiety and addiction and a lot of those different things. Kind of like the main topics of my writing.
Okay. So
I got one for one, if you don't mind. So is when you first came into VR, what was the weirdest thing you ever saw in VR?
When I first started playing VR, I didn't know how to make friends. It wasn't until it happens in like that like magic situation where you like join a random world and you start a conversation with someone and then you keep that conversation and you actually like start like hanging out with people. Because for like 2 months on this game, I was the weirdest thing you saw in VR. I was in a I was in a goose avatar wandering around murder lobbies, like Goose running around in circles in the murder lobbies. Like this is a little OCD thing you could do where you like run over the little like spots that you're supposed to stand in and they'd light up. And so you just like run and like chain the lights while you're running in a circle. It was really dumb stuff.
Okay, I've got one more for you. I know that you just said and mentioned that you play banjo, right? Correct. Okay. How long you been playing banjo? And two, have you ever tried to write a sad song on a banjo?
Yes. So I've been playing the banjo since I was 15. And I got really good at it really quickly, started going into competitions, and I've won like first place advanced banjo playing in a few competitions, which bear in mind, I've not done a lot of the stuff on VR, but I literally just today got delivered my instrument mic that I ordered. It's a really like nice one. It's like a clip mic that I can clip onto my banjo and my guitar and my ukulele to get like a better sound out of them because I hate that electric sound, that acoustic electric sound. It just sounds very twangy. So I will be doing more of that stuff here in the future in VR. Um, and yeah, probably like my family and like my IRL friends, they all have like one favorite song of mine, and it is a banjo song, and it gets requested by them all the time. It's a song called "Good Day, Miss Rosie," and it's a sad, melancholy, sad, pretty song about an elderly man saying goodbye to his dying wife.
Wow, wait a minute. No offense, but I'd have to hear this because everybody I know that's ever played banjo, playing a sad song on a banjo is one of the hardest things to do.
It is because it's so joyful.
Yeah, it's
an incredibly joyful instrument.
I gotta hear this because everybody that I know that plays banjo and everything else like this can't do it. I got to hear this play because every time I hear somebody talking about playing a banjo, I go, "Can you play a sad song on it?" And they look at like I got carrots and potatoes running out of my ear. What? You're nuts! You can't do it. There's no way. I want to hear this. Boy, I got to hear this. So
Yeah, no, well, hey, the mic is here now, so hopefully pretty soon, like this week, I'll be able to show up at some open mics or be here on Friday and be able to do some stuff. It's just like really tricky because I love the immersion of being in VR, and like this is gonna help me be able to have my instrument with my headset on too, which will be like really really nice. Because I want to like be present when I'm performing and not on desktop if I can.
Ooh. Ooh.
is that very difficult to do when you're standing on stage compared to like being just, some performers will go stiffy, put their arms down, no controllers, or is
So
it, or they use their controllers and play? I'm just curious.
yeah. It's not a question of difficulty. It's a question of how like picky and anal retentive you are.
Okay.
Because for me, it's well, for anyone, it's like I can just like set my controllers down, grab my instrument, and then just start playing, and like that's fine. But tracker drifting and the controllers being over on the side and everything, you just sit there and you're just like, I wish I could look like this while I'm playing my instrument and not like look like I'm holding the instrument, look like I'm like sitting here on stage doing it. Um, no, it's not hard to do, but you gotta make some sacrifices for what it's gonna look like most of the time.
Okay.
Okay. So, may I ask, you mentioned one of your family's favorite songs, but what is some of your favorite songs that you've written or any that have stuck with you over the years?
Hmm. Yeah, so I have let's see. So there are like different milestones in my writing that I like look back and I'm like for that like era, like that is my favorite of the things that I've written. And so I would tend to agree with my family like when like pre-COVID, that's my favorite one too. The banjo one. Post-COVID, about 3 years ago when I was getting into the groove of it, I wrote this song about my struggle with relationships and um, falling into the trap of developing like codependent dynamics with people where they rely fully on me to survive and just kind of getting my heart broken. So I wrote this whole song about that at that time. And that one is definitely one of my favorites as well. And then just this year, the this I so I've only been rapping for about 6 months now. I got into it from a few friends who were like discussing a few friends that I have, Cisco and Hatch, who are part of this group called Be Infinite, who are really big into like this rap scene, and I really fell in love with Chance the Rapper and his style of high positivity and focus on growth and like good mindsets and stuff like that. So I wrote a song. I've written most of my songs over the last 6 months are in that vein. When I'm rapping or when I'm singing nowadays, it's a lot of positive stuff. So there's this one called All In that's like my favorite right now about just someone who like gives you all the good fuzzy positive energies.
Hmm. Wow. So sounds like a drastic switch of music type from at least what I'm hearing so far from what you were playing to now. How how different is the contrast between the two?
It feels a lot different technically from how I'm lyrically putting things together, but that's less to do with the topic and more to do with you learn a lot more about verse structure from rapping because the rhythm of what you're singing or rapping becomes something that influences the other parts of your lyricism. And yeah, I'd say there's I spent a lot of time dwelling in my either sadness, depression, anxiety, and sitting in there. And I try really hard now to kind of max myself out on positive and good feeling things as much as I can to help me get by a bit easier. So it's helpful, it's cathartic to write in that way because it brings my music into that whole thing too.
Okay. So now with rap being your newest genre you've been writing for the last 6 months, has the contents of your lyrics changed? Or is it still staying the same from what you were telling us before?
Yeah, no, I think the content has only changed in that it's a reflection of where I've been at mentally and physically for myself over the last year, which is I spend a lot of time when you get into Vrchat where COVID's happening, you're isolated, you don't have the things in your life that you had beforehand, and all that kind of got taken away, and now you're sitting there doing your job. You're lucky enough to have a job, you and an apartment, and you have your space, and no options. The world is kind of falling apart. So I spent a lot of time just uh, suppressing the sadness and also living in the sadness as well. So there's a lot of struggles with addiction, like alcohol and nicotine and things of that sort. I think lyrically, when I started getting to this space, I felt very broken and needed to write about what I was struggling with. But as of the last year, with things I've been doing to change things up in my own life, it's gone from being about this is how broken I am to this is what my growth looks like, and this is what the improvements, level ups, all that stuff are looking like in my life. So we focus on what we're doing better as opposed to what's broken about ourselves.
Oh, well, congratulations on
Yeah.
upgrading your life like that, by the way. That's a further step than
Thank
most
you.
take.
Yes, very much so.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I have a question.
I appreciate that.
When you're writing your music, I have a question about, do you start with your lyrics or do you start with the music?
Yeah, so that's been a bit different because what's it called? The I'm not very technically inclined music wise. That's why the acoustic folk vibe of things always appealed to me because it stayed within just a guitar and singing and outside of the whole digital scape. Don't have any recording software that I use. I use Voice Meter to get through the day. Um, so when I'm writing my folk and acoustic stuff, I sit down, start playing a progression, get familiar with it, or start humming a tune and you figure it out from there. With the rap stuff, because I don't do anything programmatically, I'm using all nonprofit beats that I find on YouTube. And, I definitely want to get to a place where I am not using someone's pre made beat to write my lyrics over. That's the next step of anything. But it's honest to God so much fun as a writing task. I love being put in a box and having to figure my way out of it. So it's like this beat has limited what I can do, and it tells me how the structure of the song is, and now I have to write into that structure, which feels really really fun.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well,
I can understand that.
that's very impressive. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask about some of your VR goings-ons now that we are at this point. You've mentioned that with Lingy and Rinny, you opened up your own club under the Sunset Bar. What started that, and what kinds of things were you doing in the Sunset Bar?
Yeah, so I just kind of started off in those first couple months when the Sunset Bar was open. We would open up instances as the world was getting popular, and just I'd get on stage, do some singing, and all that good stuff. There was a point in which the ideas comes across the board. What if we opened up a Sunset Bar instance that was specifically geared towards watching polished live performances? So, you have to audition to be able to play on the stage. Once you audition to be able to play on the stage, you get added to the rotation. And each Thursday, you have an opportunity to do a 30-minute set on the stage of your music. And so we started getting that together. And since I was like one of the OGs for Sunset to a degree, they what's it called? The idea kind of snowballed to like, okay, well, what if we have like a performance network for Sunset, and be able to like have help performers get connected. So this was the pitch originally with them, was like, hey, I'll come on and put together getting a performance network and finding the performers, and then I also want to open up my own venue on Thursdays that's going to put those performers on stage. So I joined the Sunset staff in that capacity, which is at its like beginning, and started running that venue.
Oh, wow. How
Nice.
long was that venue running for, may I ask, before you switched over to the next up?
Yeah. So the venue opened up in January of last year, and it closed down in January of this year. At that time, we also were structuring the like official staff of Sunset and stuff. So for a period of time, I was one what they called like um it's not it's like architect nexus whatnot, working alongside Lingy and Rennie and Aries and a few other people. Who Aries is the creator of Virtual and Nevermind. And just working on like building out Sunset more community wise. There's a lot of different, opinions, arguments, and things, stuff like that that happens in any given organization at a certain point. Back in October of last year, I chose to step away because I had found all of the different open mic communities and music communities on Vrchat, and I was just like, I just want to do music stuff on here. If I'm getting on VR, I want to be doing something music related. That should be, the focus. So I stepped down from staff there, and then we started the plan to shut down the Savvy back in December, because two reasons. One, I started going to karaoke IRL at this pub with my cousin on Thursdays, which is super fun. And objectively, if it's IRL versus VR, IRL is always going to win. So wanted to do that, and then unfortunately, one of my co-owners, the person I ran the Savvy Bar with, um, in essence, uh, quit his job, stopped taking some medication, and had a psychotic breakdown. Um, and it was just something that, like, I did a lot of work at that time. There was a lot of pain back in December leading up to that stuff, and a lot of like fighting to try to like save my friend from himself. And at that point, he was so ingrained into everything that it just felt like a good idea to just have a fresh start and see myself out of that situation.
Mm. Well, I'm sorry you found yourself in a situation like that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very much so.
Mm.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult stuff, but at the end of the day, the move continues to be every single day that I get distracted by or involved in something that's not fully and 100% music, then I'm going to find that I just want to go more towards music stuff. So at the time we shut down the Savvy bar, and Pacifics, who is my co-owner here at Next Stop, we've been becoming really close and really good friends. And she's an incredible, amazing vocalist and guitar player and everything. So we have been spending a lot of time frequenting open mics when it gets to the end of the evening after you're done with school and work and all that stuff. I'm just kind of hopping on here and going to open mics with her. So we wanted to have our own space that could provide something like that. And I feel like that's going to be the choice that I always make at the end of the day, regardless of what I get involved in. It's if there's something more musically that I can do, that's what I'm going to want to do.
Okay.
Savvy, I've got one for you. When you actually a couple, when you get on stage, what's it feel like to you when you step onto that stage?
Let's see. So I've been performing for a long period of time, and my work, my passions have always driven me to having to do some form of public speaking and public presentation. Up until a couple years ago, when I decided to go back to school and go for my graduate degree, I had worked for 6 years as a teacher for software development, teaching full stack web development to college students. It was through this like program, and they would spend like 5 days a week with me learning how to build web apps. So I would spend every single one of my days standing in front of a crowd and then going home and performing in front of a crowd at an open mic or something like that. So it's pretty second nature at this point. The thing is, it's have you all ever heard the like thing in golf? They always say like if you think about the tree in front of you, you're going to hit the tree in front of you. Like when you're taking your swing. And so
Okay.
it's like stuck in your head. It's like don't think about it. So if I don't look at the fact of like, oh my god, there's an audience in front of me and I'm going to be doing all this stuff, like that can like throw me. But if I just focus on doing what I'm doing, I don't really struggle at all with things.
Okay, okay, that's good. My second question, besides the dogs running around behind me, when you get somebody that comes up and pats you on the shoulder for your performance, what do you do when you get somebody that comes up to you and asks the advice what you're doing? What would you give them? What in that situation?
So more or less, like what advice would I give to like a performer?
Yeah, somebody that wants to perform but doesn't know how to get there, from A to B.
Hello, I'm actually here to interrupt the episode you're watching really quick to ask you a favor. Please come join us at any of the other locations we have. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, both of which we post our episodes and are very up to date on both. We have Discord where you go to hang out all the time, where you're gaming and shooting the breeze over with many people over that way. Feel free to come join us. I invite you. If you wish to support us, we have a Patreon where we post a bunch of random bits, bobs, and extra podcast every once in a while for you to go enjoy. Also, if you wish to support us while on Vrchat, we're now part of the creator economy. So please come join if you wish to support us there. It's there for you to choose if you so wish. And thank you very much. And a special thanks to some of the people who have signed up on our Patreon, which are as follows. And I have written down so I'll remember. And that's a tough thing. Forbidden Zero, Niche, Aliquum, Future Oracle, Lesser Capybara, and Frozen. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so I guess I would say that very very specifically here on VR chat, there's a quality threshold to like what you can accomplish tech wise. And it can be a bit intimidating when you come into a space, because I remember starting off with just like playing my Spotify track over voice meter, or like a YouTube track over voice meter, and singing over it while things were going through my VR head mic. Um, the the fear with that, when you hear someone else who's got a studio mic and all the levels and effects and everything on that sort, it can really intimidate you. Especially, I mean, like look at a Quest user. Quest user has no option, can't play a track over their mic unless they hold their phone up to the mic, so it's very limiting. Um, you don't really need all of those things to be able to do something honest, and honest is better than quality most of the time. If you can get up there and do something that's honest from yourself musically, so that can look like original music that you've written yourself, or taking a track that is meaningful to you and doing your own cover of it. Just, if you take it seriously, it's going to translate the way that you want it to. And the only thing I would say is like, when we're in open mics or any of those performances, treat it like an open mic. Don't treat it like karaoke. Because that's when you're going to feel the worst about it. That's when you're going to feel like you're not up to par with everyone else. When you get up there and instead of singing that song that really hits you, that's important to you, you get up there and sing Gangnam Style or Tequila or something like that. It's like, it's funny, it's good. We all love the laughs. The laughs are great. It's a good time. Go to the furry karaoke world, which is like, that's the big karaoke world, right? The furry karaoke lounge or something is what it's called, I think. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so.
But
No, I
yeah.
don't.
No, there is a world literally called Furry Karaoke Lounge. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. But like, that's a great space to be silly with it. Everyone in an open mic space is coming in to show off their artistry. So all you need to do is just be authentic to yourself. Go up there and do something that's personal.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So before we move on to the chapter of next up, during the Savy bar, what have been some favorite moments or events that have happened while you were there?
Yeah, we had a lot of really fun moments. The level of performers that were coming through our space was quite rather insane. Some big name peoples, which were really fun, but also undiscovered people as well that were just really cool. And we'd be able to come in and give people opportunities to become artists in residency, so that they would always have a spot on Thursdays. We got comfortable with like, our favorite songs by this artist and that artist. And we had our themed events. The things that flagged to me immediately are this artist Circadian doing his rendition of which song is it? Noel's Lament, which is this ridiculous theater song. And the what's it called? Alto Clef, who's a big TikToker, came through, and he's been doing this song called VRC Hose, which is hilarious and cracks everyone up all the time. But then, like, apart from just those like nice moments with like each artist, I think the big thing that people would be offended if I didn't mention it was our Valentine's Day event, which specifically at the beginning, we don't have a name for ourselves or any notoriety. It's been 2 months. It's Valentine's Day. Doing a lover's bar seems like a wrong move. So what is better than love? Danny DeVito. So for that day and that day only, we became the DeVito bar, and Linky and Rennie uploaded cardboard cutouts of Danny DeVito to pass around the bar for people.
Oh my
And
god.
all the staff was in Danny DeVito avatars, and it was a lovely, lovely evening.
Well, I can see why those would be favorites. Thank you for sharing. Now,
No doubt.
the moments that led up
Mm.
to Next Up after that shut down, did you guys come up with a name first? Where did the scheme and the idea for this all come up from? What were the first days of opening like?
Yeah, so me and Pacifics have just been really looking to have a bit more control over a space to get the things that we like and get rid of the things that we dislike for certain open mics. So one of like the really big things was we're not a fan of the line queue. There's a lot of open mics that have you stand in the line and wait to go on stage. So we wanted to, have a different setting for that. We wanted the space to feel a bit more aesthetically polished in a different way than some of these other open mics have them set up, because I love the look to a lot of these different spaces, but there's a bit of eclecticism, or I don't know if that's eclecticism, in which lots of busyness and to do in a lot of these worlds. So we wanted something that felt cozier for performing in, um, and a bit more up to date. And so we sat down. Pacific's designed a logo, and we talked it through with a few of our collaborating communities like Val's Creation Hub and the Midnight Opera, Bar 55, and just figured out a way that we could build a space that everyone would be really comfortable with.
Oh, wow. So after you guys decided on the name and what you guys wanted, what was the opening day like? What did you do and what happened?
The opening day was so exciting that it didn't happen on the opening day. It happened the day before, which was to say that we got on here to go hop around an open mic on a Thursday, and Val Raven was online. I'm like, oh, he hasn't gotten a chance to see the space yet. Let me invite him here. Take a look at the space. So I invite him here. He comes with a couple of friends. A couple of their friends join. Val wants to get on stage, so we put him on stage. Then I hop on stage. Then Pacifics hops on stage, and then we're all inviting people to the point that we get like a full instance, and the open mic is just running the day before we're open, in full. And we have the picture of that over on the wall, over there near the entrance,
Oh,
as our first day.
oh, wow. So from the opening day to now, what, and even before, what were you expecting getting into Next Up with it opening up? Did you have any expectations to how it would run or what it'd be like, and what was it like after you started running and opening?
Yeah, so my expectation at the moment is that it will be a space that we can comfortably come in and showcase our artistry, and something on Fridays that feels a bit more inviting and a bit more familiar, which it has succeeded in being so far. Not very many problems, not very many issues, just something like really familiar and easy to relax into. So far it's been that. To be fair, we've only been open probably about a month now, but it's really been a space that the thing that like always like pops out for me is you design a space. This goes into like architecture and all of those things. It's like you design a space, and then it's up to the people who occupy that space to figure out how to conduct themselves in that space. And I just get flagged every single Friday at how people choose to hold conversation, where they choose to sit, what they choose to do, who they invite, all of those things. I've been nothing but happy with how it's been received and how people have settled into the space.
Okay. So, a question I have for you across all of your goings on so far. Have you viewed open mics either in VRChat or real life any differently since you've been running a venue here in VR? Did you get any uh, specific things you've learned from doing it, from going from the one to be on stage to the one running the stage?
Yeah, I guess so. Differences in IRL and VR. There is a tremendous difference that's both a blessing and a curse. You can look at this as like one or the other, but it goes back to the karaoke versus open mic type things. There is virtually no difference on this platform in terms of where you go, karaoke or open mic otherwise, when it comes to the people who choose that they, or people who decide that they are going to get on stage and do it. Good, more people are getting the chance to explore their artistry and creativity. Bad, some people are just getting up there doing utter nonsense like they're a drunk 30-year-old at a pub doing karaoke. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. And on the one hand, for the good of all people who are creatives and love music, it is great that everyone gets an opportunity to do stuff, because so many of these people wouldn't even show up on an open mic night to an open mic IRL if that was going on. They would feel way more comfortable in karaoke, even though they've got the skills and they've got the passion, because it's a terrifying thing to do. That fear doesn't exist here. You can get up and do whatever you want to. That's great. Does it feel at times as like professional artists or like people who are taking themselves seriously to be in the mixed company sharing a stage with someone who's going to sit up there, let the full 2.5 minutes of tequila play until they say the word tequila, then ba-dum, ba-da-da-da, bum, bum. Yeah, that feels kind of sacrilegious to a degree to share that space. But, you make do with what you got. You complain about it behind closed doors. It's never a real sentiment.
Okay. So, now with that said, has running these spaces helped impact your music at all? Being in between the Savvy bar and Next Up.
Yeah, I definitely think so, because I think workshopping and sharing your music is an incredibly important and helpful thing to do for any artist, and being able to run things by. Let's say you're a normal human individual in their 20s. You've got work, you've got school, you've got social obligations and things like that. You're probably going to make your way out to an open mic once a week at best if you're an artist with like who's also living for a living. And so oh, my checker. In that case, you make it out to the open mic once a week, and the open mic has a full queue, so you're going to get up there and do one, maybe two songs, and then you're done. And that's the end of it for you. So for that week, you have workshopped yourself to a group of people for one, maybe two songs. I can go to like 8 different open mics in a week here and directly connect like through this platform with other musicians and friends to share my music. I don't have to go to an open mic or bring my guitar with me. I can sit here in the world in the room and just like, hey, I wrote the song today. You want to hear it? And then just go for it. So that kind of input is completely important, and you can get so much of it in this virtual space compared to where you would like outside there.
Ooh. Well, thank you for sharing that. And since
Mhm.
you put on the headset, did you expect the journey you've been on at all since you've been here?
Um, not particularly. I was going from a uh banjo playing drunk coder to like full-time student, stoned most of the time and rapping. I mean, it's very different. It's very, very different. But I mean, like that's kind of the nice thing, right? As one of my like biggest influences for music has always been David Bowie, and specifically the thing I lock onto with him is the way he's able to be so many different things to different people at different times throughout his career, stylistically and like appearance wise and lyrically. The man just keeps becoming different things and morphing into different shapes. And so I have long had this personal belief in myself that like I want to be like a million different things throughout my life and just have that keep changing. I don't want to stay in one place and just be predictable. So that's like a really big influence for me.
Okay. And since you've come in VR and gone this far, what have been some things you've picked up to help you with what you enjoy doing with music and stuff since you've come here and been meeting people?
Things that have helped. Yeah. So this is like how like completely technologically unsavvy I am. No pun intended. Which is to say that like it's been a huge learning curve, learning about like sample rate and buffer size and reverb and EQ, and it's all been stuff that I've learned from the other performers who have been doing it longer than me in this space. They've shown me like so many different like tricks and ways to like polish and get better at performing. And so yeah, I'd say it's completely night and day. And then I should mention that like also lyrically there have been a couple people who just over the last month have like already completely changed my sound entirely, which is this group called Beat Infinite, which are these two guys who Cisco and Hatch, who do these freestyle stuff. They've been pushing me for a while because they've been hearing my written stuff and they're like, you need to try freestyling. Deathly afraid of that in every way, shape, or form. It's a completely terrifying idea or thought. But one day I was in the right mood enough that they convinced me, and it's I'm always afraid I'm gonna try something and it is clear and apparent that I can't do it. Which is just a constant fear that I have when I don't want to try something out. So for me to do it and for them to be able to see that there was a skill that could be built on. I'm not good at all. I wouldn't consider myself good, but they will. They'll gas me up all the time. It improves as you work along it, right? And so already I'm writing stuff now since we've been freestyling like every night on this game that sounds completely different than what I was writing a month ago. And it's like more confident and more structured. So yeah, it's just always moving up.
Okay. Last couple of questions before we start wrapping this up. First of which is the name using Vrchat. Where did it come from and why do you use it? And why do you still use it?
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of a little bit different. The name started with choosing my gender affirming name for myself. I have a really close friend that I've known for a long time named Savannah, who has played a huge influence in my life. So the name itself felt like a good way to, reflect that in my life. More comfortable with the shortening of like Savy, but my last name used to be different, and I was wanting to change that up. So I was trying to think of something musically that was important to me and also fit within the realm of what I was looking for. And so I play the guitar, strumming the guitar, Savy Strums. So we get it from there.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the
Mhm.
avatar you're in, why do you use it? Why did you choose it? Is there anything about it that means anything to you?
Okay. So I am a really, really picky person when it comes to avatars. It got even worse when I got face tracking because now my avatars I have access to are limited to only models that support face tracking. I mean, I could wear ones that don't, but that's not fun. Um, so I want a face tracking model, and coming into this, we're gonna do this interview. So I'm like thinking, okay, which avatar fits me the best? I don't know which avatar fits me the best. I also don't want my avatar to be the focus of like conversation because I switch avatars all the time. You'll see me in something completely different every evening. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the avatar search world and see about finding a face tracking model. And I honestly love this model, and it's really dumb because this is a face tracking anime version of a fully existing Fortnite skin called Ruby. Because out of the games I play, I've been playing Fortnite for years and I will never stop playing. I am addicted. I have bought the Ruby skin on Fortnite. I love the skin, and I found this, and I'm like, this vibes. I like it.
Well, again, Savvy, thank you very much for your time. It was a wonderful
Yeah,
honor being able
thank
to
you
meet
very
you and hear your story.
You know, something like
Mm.
her talking the way she just said on the last part on her avatars. It reminds me of when my wife, she'd come out with two dresses on. Which one do you think? And you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right because you're gonna die if you don't. You sit there, you hate. I hope nobody goes through that, but you hate that situation because you turn around and you pick one. You have 50-50 chance. You know you're gonna lose an eye, or you go, wait a minute, this makes me look too fat. And you're going, shit. I don't even. Why'd you ask me in the first place? Because I'm gonna lose. It's a lost battle. But I like the situation where, you have a style, so that's cool.
Yeah, I go for like more like streetwear look on my avatars, anyways, because it just fits a lot more with like my casual, more like casual but still presentable kind of look and feel. I am really big into like fashion stuff in real life. The big thing for me that a lot of avatars don't bother with is hats. I am hugely obsessed with hats. I have like 12 of them hanging on my walls that I just collect for different styles and looks.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. If the audience wishes to reach out and find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, let's see. I've got my group. It's just the groups at this point. The next step group, which I've got above my head right now. And then the Savvy Syndicate group, which I'll put above my head now. It should be there. Yep. Those are the two groups. You can find our posters in here. And yeah, just popping around different open mics, doing music stuff. Come out to Next Step. It's a good time. A lot of fun. We had a full instance this last week. It was a really good time.
Oh, well, those links will be for you in the description of the video. If you're on YouTube, scroll down a bit, hit show more, look for guest links, and it'll be right there for you to find. If you're in Spotify, it'd be in the episode description. Same place, same label. And with that, so we're going to ask you, the audience, that question is, what's a song right now that you're vibing with? We'd like to know. We'd like to hear it. Put it in the comment section. We'd like to read your answers. With that said, Mr. Raptor, you know the thing.
I got you, Lane. No matter what, folks, no matter how you string it, play it, or strum it, the sound's going to come out with a twang of its own. But if you don't realize how hard you play it, you might not get the sound you're looking for. But in VR, you got plenty of opportunities to try to stand on a stage and sing your heart out, and we all like to listen. You have a good one, folks. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Step into the game, feel the rush ignite. Digital battlegrounds, neon in the night. Adrenaline surges, heartbeats collide. Ready for the challenge, no place to hide. The virtual gauntlet awaits. Dive into the fray. Feel the power, feel the thrill, light up the way. In this realm of thoughts, the legends are made. Push the limits, let the fire invade.
I was an adventurer once, till I took an arrow to the knee. Howie. It hurts so bad. Mom! Mom, I took an arrow to the knee! I was an adventurer! What happened, Mom? Damn, Mom's not home. Mom's not home! I forgot the key, and there's no mat to put it under. Maybe it's under here. Maybe she put it under melted the bitch in the fire. Well, that hurts. God, I'm a loner. Ventura is my situation. When you take an arrow to the knee. But too bad it didn't hit me in between the toes. But it made me loopy, though. Are you a hook on? Oh, wow. I know. I'm not even at the right house. That's why.